bright future. Greetings, listeners, and welcome to another edition of Eyes on the Road. My dear listener, it's another splendid Thursday afternoon, and we have prepared a show packed with engaging content and valuable information just for you. So do me one favor, just sit back, relax, and don't touch that dial, because you are the reason why we are here. Welcome, returning listeners, and a special hello to all our first-time guests. If you are just tuning in for the first time and you're wondering what is happening, yes, this is Eyes on the Road, a golden moment brought to you on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM because we value your eyesight. Yes, a vital part of your body. And yes, of course, you know, as is our practice, we are joined by in-house optometrists who will be giving us, informed guidance, giving us an informative session, and providing free consultations until about, say, 5 p.m. So, like I said earlier, don't touch that dial, and it definitely will be worth your while. My name is Akan Usen. The theme for August is children's vision care. Certainly, you will agree with me that our children are incredibly special to us. And one delicate part of their bodies is their eyes. So it is essential to provide them with thorough eye care. Our children are home on the holidays, and it's a good time to attend to their eye care needs. So on the show today, we'll be talking about vision and learning. We'll be discussing the importance of good vision in learning. Of course, you will agree with me that poor vision can lead to low grades, low self-esteem, and overall a negative school experience amongst our children. Hence, the reason why we are bringing up this topic. So while the show goes on, feel free to share your thoughts. Feel free to ask questions via calls or via WhatsApp. Yes, 080 991-20777, and that's also our WhatsApp line, 080-991-20777. You can also call 091-538-77127. Any of this will do. Would love to hear from you this beautiful afternoon. It promises to be an exciting and informative time. Joining us on today's show is Dr. Rasheedat Aruna, Chief Optometrist at Modern Eye Care Foundation on Mole Ojodubaja, Lagos. Doctor, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good evening.
I hope traffic wasn't much of a bother.
No,
coming
it wasn't.
In. Great.
Much.
All right, so straight away we go into the meat of today's matter.
Yes, vision and learning.
Vision and learning.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, we spoke last week about taking care of the eyes, children, eye care.
Yeah.
Okay, so today we are going to be talking about how important vision is to learning. Okay, so the eyes sight is very important, and a child learns mostly by seeing, by what he or she see, and it goes beyond just eyesight. It is vision the ability to see, and also to understand or interpret what you are seeing. So just like walking and talking, okay, in walking and talking, okay, the parents they can observe the child and
this child is not walking well, and
this child is not talking well, and can influence the child or guide the child or do something about it. But when it comes to seeing, when it comes to vision, you are not aware of what the child is saying. You are not aware of what is taking place or what is going on, because it's the child that sees. And the child is not able to tell you, I'm seeing blurry, or I cannot see clearly, or I can see with just one eye. The child cannot express his or herself with regards what he or she is seeing. And so it is important that there are some signs, some things you should watch out for, so that you are able to guide the child or catch whatever problem he or she has on time, so that it can be managed properly. Now, it is known that about 75 to 90% of a child's learning comes through the vision. So if there is an interruption, if there is a breakage or there is a disruption in the visual pathway, it will greatly affect that child's development. The child may not be able to get to their maximum potential academically, socially, in all aspects of their lives. And so being cognizant or taking cognition of a child's visual development is very important for everyone involved in that child's life. All right, so and that's what we are going to be talking about today. So if a child is not able to see clearly, if a child has poor eyesight, the child will struggle. Academically, will struggle. He will not be able to perform maximally in academics, in his or her play activities, in his relationship with other peers. He may not be able to catch up with his other. He may be struggling in class. He cannot see the board clearly. He cannot coordinate his eye and his hand. Is moving his hand to take something. His eye is turning out to somewhere else. So those are the things that affect child development, child learning. And you notice that such a child loses interest in learning, in
school
reading.
and learning.
So imagine a child is not interested in reading, is not interested in his book, and the parents will be forcing the child. Either some parents will even be beating the child, or they be moving the child from one school to the other, or from one lesson to the other, just to help the child to read, because they feel the child is not a dullard. Some parents can even take it as far as being a spiritual matter, whereas it's just a simple eye test.
I even think the child does not like going to school.
In fact, they think the child is too playful, because such a child loses concentration. The attention span of that child is reduced.
Yes.
He's no longer interested in in academics, and his performance in school will drop. And then the child will no longer be interested in anything education. And when it gets to that point,
because truly there's a lot of discomfort when
when the child is not seen properly. And so instead of jumping from school to school, or beating up that child, or just calling the child names like dullard, or I don't want to use some. So why just a simple eye test can go a long way to make that child education improve.
The truth is because
greatly.
A few of them don't know better,
Yes, and some parents, they are still of the notion that a child should not be wearing glasses. They still are reluctant for their child to wear, even when they can see that these glasses is making my child vision better.
See better, yeah.
Okay, they feel reluctant for the child to wear. They feel is wrong or is bad, and it's a very wrong notion, because once the problem of that child's vision is not addressed, the child can grow up with it, and the vision may not be reversed, or may not be managed. There will be no improvement in the management later on, when the child is now an adult, because once a child is growing up, the child is in a formative stage. So a lot of things can be adjusted,
corrected, and all
corrected,
that.
Yes. And so that's why from birth to a certain age, let's say the age of 8, 9, okay, preschool and all, if the child is taken for proper examination, if there is a problem being caught, the child can be treated, and then can grow. But once it's beyond that and it cannot be done anymore, then the child grows up with that eye problem, and nothing can be done. I've seen adults with problem that they got from childhood, which if it was addressed then, could have been corrected, or couldn't have gone as worse as it is when they are adults. And so for children, for their learning and their development, their vision is important, and it should be taken into very high consideration. Okay.
All right, a quick detour. Let's see what traffic is looking like around the Ojodu-Baja axis. Movement from Opik inwards Baja down to Otedola is good to go. Likewise, the return journey. I can confirm to you at this time that also movement out of Isherilora, also connecting New Garage, Lagos Ibadan Expressway is good at this time. River Valley, North Kosoko is good up to VIS. Likewise, the return journey. VIS down to Grammar School is good. Approaching Omoli Junction is busy due to traffic alternation ongoing by the traffic lights, while the return journey from Omoli is gathering momentum. Moving from Omoli Junction inwards, excellence is good, while Ogba is a slow movement. The return journey is good. Ogba inwards Caterpillar down to Oduero is equally in good shape at the moment. Likewise, the return journey, it is slow. However, around Oduero due to peak period rush, but we have traffic managers on ground managing the situation. No impediment at this time, and our traffic managers on ground controlling and managing the traffic situation. Our focus is on vision and learning. as it pertains to children. Yes, and we have Dr. Rasheedat Aruna in the building with us, and she has been doing justice to this topic. Back to you, Doctor.
Thank you very much. So, there are stages in a child's development, or yes, and from birth, from new birth, that's 0 to 2 months.
Yes.
There are some things a child should be able to do, such as the vision getting clearer. All right, if a child at birth, a child sees in shades of gray. So as the child develops from 0 to 2 months, the child should be able to have more clarity of vision, should be able to focus more. So the child should be able to look into the mom's face and focus on the mom's face or eyes or whatever the child is trying to focus on. And then the child should be able to identify some primary colors such as blue, red. The child may not be able to tell you this is blue, red, but the child should be able to know when there's a change in color or change in scene. The child should be able to know that, okay, there's a change in color. So the color vision of that child, blue, red, green, those are primary colors, develop at between the age of 0 to 2 months. Now, at infancy, that's from 0 to 6 months, the color perception should have developed fully. So apart from being able to know primary colors, secondary colors as well, then depth perception, being able to judge the height, the depth, or the length of wherever the child is going to or looking at. And then crawling, at the stage of crawling, the child hand-eye coordination should be developed, in the sense that once a child is crawling, you should be able to judge that, okay, this is the depth of where I'm crawling, this is where my hand is going to, my eyes is looking at where my hand is going to. So hand-eye involvement, coordination should have developed. Then visual memory as well. So by then, the child should be able to recognize the mom or the faces of the parents or everyone around that child. So that's how the child is developing. Now, toddler, there should be an improvement in depth perception.
Okay.
There should be an improvement in the motor skills, that's the hand movements, the hand-eye coordination. The child should be able to recognize the shape of objects and things, maybe toys and all other things the child is exposed to. Now, for preschool age, the visual acuity can be, gotten. Then the hand-eye coordination should have developed properly.
Okay.
There should be awareness, there should be tracking and all. Now, when the child is now, school, for secondary school and all, the visual acuity should have been developed properly, and every other eye coordination should have been developed. Now, there are some skills that are required, okay, for good vision and for learning. One of the very important one is the visual acuity. Visual acuity has to do with what the child can read. When you take the child to the optometrist or to a clinic, will the child be able to read the letters being given on the chart from top to bottom? Okay, if the child is even able to read those letters from top to bottom, being able to read everything, there are some other vital things to watch out for. It's not just about being able to read all the letters. There are some binocular vision problem.
Okay, how do you mean?
Yeah, so binocular vision problem has to do with the coordination of both eyes. All right, now if a child can read from top to bottom of the chart but has binocular vision problem, is not able to focus both eyes together to read properly or to see properly. You see those children, when they are reading, they either skip letters while reading, okay, or while they are trying to track an object or read through a book, okay, one eye is one eye is either left behind while the other eye is, or they are covering one eye. So there are some things to watch out. Those are some of the things to watch out for. When a child is covering one eye and is just trying to use one eye to focus.
Or when the child is squinting
exactly.
Okay.
Just using one eye to focus, then that child has an eye problem. Or you see a child scratching and itching and, just scratching the eye. He's trying to scratch the eye to focus and he doesn't walk that way. Or you see a child skipping lines, okay, or they skip one line or they skip a letter. Children are very smart. So after reading to some point, if they can't see they can just
They
put a
jump to the
word.
one they can see. Okay.
Or they can even put a word just to make the sentence flow or make sense to them. So those are some of the signs to watch out for. Once you notice a child is having such signs, then there's a problem with their vision. So for every stage there is a development level that is expected. And so if you notice that your child is not doing well at a particular stage and over keeps repeating, then you should take that child for an eye examination. So low vision or underdeveloped vision can affect a child cognitive learning, can affect a child's social skill, it can affect a child academics, all right, and it can affect a child emotional state too. So once a child is not able to see, or the child is tagged dull in school,
the child will not be happy.
Of course, the child will not have low self-esteem. We feel, every other person in class is very bright. I'm the only one that is dull. You see that child withdrawing, is not coming out to engage in activities and all. Such a child will just withdraw, and it's not okay. So every parent or guardian should be at full alert for a child's development from birth till the child eventually comes out of the stage of learning. Now there are some eye problems, okay, that affect a child's learning. All right, an example is myopia. Myopia is also known as short-sightedness.
Yes.
So what it means is that things at near, the child will be able to see it, but things at far, the child won't be able to see either the board or the projector. Now, you notice the child going very close to the board or wants to sit in front of the class in order to see what is written clearly. Then you know that child has a vision problem and should be taken for treatment.
So in class then, growing up, if you're those people that actually used to stay in front, they would call them efiko.
Yes.
It wasn't actually because it was because they had,
yes. Once you notice someone leaving the back, maybe the person is at the back, sitting at the back, and then has to go forward to right, or has to go to the front, right, go back to the seat, copy what he has seen, come back again to the front. Or you notice your child is also sitting too close to the TV in order to see clearly, then those are the things you should watch out for. The child probably has myopia, that's ability to see clearly at near but difficulty to see
far.
at far. Now there is also a refractive error known as hyperopia. This is a condition where a child has issues seeing at near but can see at far clearly. So
that's the opposite.
The opposite. So it has difficulty focusing. You see, the child will want to take the book so close to his face in order to see it clearly. There's even a problem of binocularity or binocular vision known as isophoria. So in isophoria, the image of what the child is looking at appears very small, and because it's very small, the child is not able to see it clearly. And so you see the child bringing the book so close to the eyes or taking his face so close to the book. So
that's different from myopia.
Yes. Now, in that condition, so that's where not just reading the letters. Some people, when they see that I can read, even adults, I can read all the letters in the chat, they just feel there's no problem in the eyes. There are other problems so for children, there are binocular vision problem, where even when they can read all the letters, the two eyes are not working together. Yes, they're not functioning together. And such children, they have strain and headache. And because of the strain and headache, they are reluctant to read or reluctant to learn. Exactly. And so I was talking about isophoria, where the image is small, and then the child takes the book very close to his face in order to see. And so if you notice some children, they will bring the book very close to their face so that they can see clearly. Those are signs of eye problems, and such a child should be taken for treatment or taken to the hospital. Now we have astigmatism. So
that also happens in children.
Yes, happens in children. So distorted vision, an inability to focus both at near and at far. So whether they are looking at far or they are reading, it's blurry. They can't see it clearly. For some children also, they skip lines or skip letters. Or when they see a letter such as letter T, they call it Y, or they see O, they see it as Q. It's not because they don't know that's Q, or they don't know they can't identify that letter, but that's the way they are seeing that letter. And as they develop, if they develop like that, you feel that child is, doesn't know anything. But if it's corrected with the right prescription or the right treatment, the eyes and the brain works together to have proper vision, to see properly. Now, I've talked about myopia, hyperopia, astigmatism. We have amblyopia. This is also known as lazy eye. Now, because the eyes and the brain have worked together to see blurry vision, okay, that's the eyes is not seeing things as clearly as it should. Now, that image is what the brain has come or gotten used to
accept.
Yes, to accept. And because of that, the eye, now if I'm going to bring the two eyes together in this scenario. One eye sees well, sharp visual acuity. The other eye has blurry vision. Now, because the eye that has blurry vision, the brain tends to ignore that eye over time and then focuses on the eye.
One with optimum vision.
Yes, and so the eye with poor vision develops amblyopia. That's known as lazy eye.
Okay.
Now, in amblyopia, there's a limit to which even glasses can help such a child or correct that child's vision. So before it gets to that point, we encourage all parents, guardian, everyone, please take your child for an eye test so that the child doesn't develop amblyopia, because amblyopia is bad. It means the brain and the brain has ignored that eye completely, and you don't want that child to just have one vision. Okay, the two eyes are important for learning. The two eyes are important for very good vision. So that's that for amblyopia. Now we have strabismus. Strabismus also means squint, or what we call half past 4 eyes. It means one eye is turning either outward or turning inward.
Okay.
So if you notice,
what we call quarter to 4 eye.
Yes, quarter to 4, half past 4 eyes.
Okay.
So in such instance, once you notice that a child eye is deviating outward, okay, then there's a problem. For some children, especially when they are from 0 to 4-6 months, you notice that some child, their eyes will look like it's turning inward.
Yes.
So as they grow, once it gets to that 6 months, normally it should become straight.
Correct itself.
Corrected, yes. But beyond that, if it is not corrected, then you should take the child for an eye examination so that it doesn't just become permanent. So it could be something that glasses can just correct and the child is seeing well, or a little adjustment in the muzzle of the eye can just correct that child. Or even a vision training. Yes, there are vision training, such as trying to focus. So we give the child some exercises that can help the eye be straight and focused. So those are the things that the parents can do. Now, all this, if it's not corrected, if it's not cut or nipped at the bud, if I can put it that way, it can affect the child's learning. That's why some children, in those days when people are not aware that you need to go for an eye examination, some people, they just in the clinic, I see them, they say they don't know they're supposed to go to the clinic to check their eyes, or their parent didn't take them to the hospital. Or some of those children, they don't even tell their parents, okay, this is what happened to me in school, this is what happened to my eyes. So everyone, both parents, guardians, teachers, everyone has a duty in a child's learning. Okay, if you notice a child doing some things, or you notice some things in the child that are not okay, you should call the attention of the parents so that the proper thing will be done.
Like
and
if a child behaves weirdly when you're writing, you're bending your head to a certain angle.
Yes, in order to see, or covering one eye in order to see, or always moving to the front of the class in order to see, or having the book very close to his face in order to see. You notice this, you know that there's a problem in that child's eye. You should take that child for a proper eye test. So it's not exhaustive. It's going to, throughout this month, we are going to be talking about. Yes.
All right, yeah. Of course, our kids are so special that no one should go blind. Is our reason for diligently bringing you the show every week. We value your feedback on discussions treated on the show. In order to better serve you better, please continue to share your thoughts. Don't stop. Feel free to revisit past episodes of the show at your convenience, of course, via our Facebook page. That's Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM and our YouTube channel, Traffic Radio 961. Just search for the keywords Eyes on the Road. And remember, as you watch, remember to share. Don't enjoy alone. Our regular optometrist on the show, who is unavoidably absent, Dr. Madi, OD, MSc, PhD in public health, consultant optometrist at the Modern Eye Care Foundation. Of course, their address is plot 16 to 18, Ogunusi Road, opposite Omole Estate, Phase 1 by Akyode Bus Stop, Ujodu, Berja. And you can reach her on 08033 336672. That is 08033336672. On behalf of the production team led by Micah Arocha, and also with assistance from Olame Benita, yeah, big ups to you. And of course, not forgetting our executive producer, Tayo Akonle. My name is Akan Usen, wishing you a safe drive to your various destinations. Bye for now and see you next week.